Tell me about who you discussed this temperature information with.
It was with Hank.
This is truly the masterclass.
You're hesitating and I can't hear you. Who did you discuss
with
it
Hank.
with?
If you want to learn how to do courtroom testimony, you watch Ian Whiffin.
Hank.
Excuse me?
With Mr. Brennan.
Attorney Brennan?
Yes.
Ian was amazing in court. The judge was even smiling at you, Ian, when you were done testifying. I felt like everyone wanted to give you a round of applause.
What is freezing in Fahrenheit?
Don't know.
The way Ian can explain extremely technical details is astounding.
Would you agree that 2 degrees Fahrenheit is the freezing point in Fahrenheit?
This is a good question. I honestly wouldn't know.
The kids think Ian's a doctor because he's so smart.
Uh-oh, it looks like Sir Ian Whiffin failed to properly convert Celsius to Fahrenheit.
So he's Dr. Whiffin, according to our household.
Okay, I didn't get a degree. I'm originally from the UK. Ian Whiffin. I'm a digital forensics examiner and decoding product manager for Cellbrite. Decoding product manager at Cellbrite.
You just mentioned Cellbrite. Is that where you were?
It is, yes.
Where did you go to school, and what, if any, degree did you receive then?
Okay, I didn't get a degree. I'm originally from the UK.
On the stand is Ian Whiffin, Sir Ian Whiffin. He didn't get a degree, he's from the UK, and he's about to get cross-examined by a master, Bob Alessi. Let's see how he does.
iPhones don't record ambient or the environmental temperature where the phone may be at any given time, correct?
Correct.
But the iPhones, including the iPhone of John O'Keefe, log the temperature of the battery inside of it, correct?
Correct.
The battery temperature of an iPhone generally matches the pattern of the rise and the fall of the thermometer temperature, correct?
From my testing, yes.
And when an iPhone is in a lock state with little activity occurring on the device, the battery temperature is heavily affected by the ambient temperature in the environment, again, matching the pattern of the rise and the fall of the thermometer temperature, right?
Correct.
Sir Ian Whiffin performed 2 tests with regard to the iPhone's battery when it's placed in a cold environment. We know that John's battery temperature changed throughout the night, steadily declining, and now Sir Ian Whiffin's going to prove to us why that happened.
You actually established this in various temperature testing and test scenarios in your March 2025 report, correct?
Correct.
So let's look at test scenario 1. You took an iPhone, if I'm remembering correctly, same model as John O'Keefe's?
I believe John O'Keefe's was iPhone 11. I used an iPhone 10. It's the same iOS version.
You state that you placed the iPhone inside a freezer, correct?
Correct.
This is your experiment. When did you do test scenario 1?
This is a good question.
What you did here was you took the phone, you put it inside a freezer. What was the temperature of the freezer?
I actually don't know.
Who cares about the temperature of the freezer?
But it was a freezer.
It was freezing. Yes.
It is sort of your just regular freezer that everybody has.
A regular chest
Nothing
freezer.
Special about
No.
it. 1710 time frame, 73.4 degrees.
1710 is 5:10 in military time, and you could see here the temperature of the thermometer is 23 degrees or 73.4 degrees Fahrenheit.
And then if you go all the way down to the 1725, which would be 15 minutes, correct?
Correct.
Can you state what the drop in temperature is of the battery temperature in just 15 minutes in a freezer?
Approximately 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's significant. In the freezer, the battery temperature dropped over 50 degrees.
So it drops 50 degrees Fahrenheit in just 15 minutes.
Correct.
A little over 3.5 degrees per minute. Test scenario 2. And in test scenario 2, you took the same phone with the same software and you placed it outside at a temperature of 33.8 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we've got battery temperature at 9:02, and this is the battery temperature of the iPhone, correct?
Correct.
And we've got 66.2 degrees Fahrenheit, correct?
Correct.
In test number 2, Whiffy placed his cell phone outside in cold temperature and registered the change.
Down to 9:15, a period of 13 minutes, correct?
Correct.
So at 33.8 degrees and 13 minutes, what is the drop in temperature in degrees. Does it go from 66.2 to 35.6?
It does.
I've calculated that drop at 30.6. Does that sound about right?
That sounds correct, yes.
We know our genius Whiffy is not the best at math, but in 13 minutes, the phone is dropping approximately 30 degrees Fahrenheit.
So you got a drop of 30.6 degrees in just 13 minutes at an outside temperature of 33.8, correct?
Correct.
And what I want to focus on is keeping the starting point for my questions here at the 12:37 time period, and that's 72 degrees Fahrenheit, correct?
Correct.
This chart indicates the battery temperature on John's iPhone on that very morning.
So if you take the time period from 12:37 to 12:53, that's a 15-minute interval, correct?
Correct.
If you then go to 12:37 and give it a little bit more time, down to 1:36 a.m., and the temperature drops from 72 to 50, only 22 degree drop in an hour, correct?
Correct.
As we can see from the data, John's battery's temperature dropped from 72 degrees to 50 degrees Fahrenheit over the course of an hour. Recall that in Whiffy's test, we were seeing significant drops within 15 minutes.
If you compare this chart in the drop in temperature to your experiments, is it correct to say that there was a much more dramatic drop in temperature in your test scenario 1 than what actually occurred on John O'Keefe's phone for the time period we just covered in January 29th?
Yes.
And then with regard to even test scenario 2, where the temperature is 33.8 degrees, that's the ambient, the outdoor temperature, right? At that temperature, just above freezing, you've got a...
Sorry, that's below freezing.
I'm sorry?
It's below freezing.
What is freezing in Fahrenheit?
Don't know, but it's 0 degrees Celsius,
Right.
and it was minus 5 degrees Celsius at the time.
Uh-oh, it looks like Sir Ian Whiffin failed to properly convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. -5 degrees Celsius is not above freezing in Fahrenheit, it's 23 degrees Fahrenheit, and he made this very critical error at several points in his report.
Would you agree that 32 degrees Fahrenheit is the freezing point in Fahrenheit?
I honestly wouldn't know.
I don't know about you, but I would expect my genius, who's doing a report on temperature in the United States, to know the freezing point in Fahrenheit. But that's just me.
In any event, in your experiment at 33.8 degrees Fahrenheit, you're getting a drop in your experiment in 13 minutes of 30.6 degrees, right?
Correct.
Check out how many times Whiffy report contains a critical error, the miscalculation of the conversion from Celsius to Fahrenheit. In this first instance here, in this cell, -5 degrees Celsius, he's claiming this is the outdoor temperature, but it's also 33.8 degrees Fahrenheit. That's simply not true. And again, he makes the same mistake down here as well. And in fairness to Sir Whiffy, he did get the conversion right 2 times on his report, meaning he was only wrong 50% of the time.
But much less drop in temperature of the actual iPhone of John O'Keefe on the morning of January 29th, correct?
Yes, correct.
Do you know what the temperature was in Canton in January 29th, 2022?
I do not know.
Nah, why would that matter?
Don't you think that that would be an important piece of information in analyzing where the phone of John O'Keefe was on the morning of January 29th?
Nah.
I didn't get a degree. I'm from the UK. I don't teach any actual courses. I've not taken a class now since I actually joined Cellbrite. So I have a blog. I didn't think it was.
So you didn't think it was important, even though you issued a report discussing the temperature of the iPhone, and you did 2 test scenarios, one in a freezer, one in an ambient temperature of slightly above 33 degrees.
For which he got the conversion wrong.
And you didn't think it important to take the final step to see whether there was anything to be gained from that comparison to determine where that phone was located?
My testing proved that the battery temperature is affected by ambient temperature. My report shows the data that was on the device. I also don't know the condition that the phone was found in, whether it was in a case, whether it was in a pocket. To me, the ambient temperature in Canton at the time wasn't particularly relevant.
That's probably the most relevant piece of data you would need. Obviously, when you're conducting a test, you want to make it as similar to the real life events as possible. That means you learn the exact model of the iPhone. You learn whether it had a case. And most importantly, you learn what the ambient, what the outside temperature is. Otherwise, your test is pretty much useless to this case, because we all know that if you're in a cold environment, the battery temperature is going to decrease. And when you're in a hot environment, it's going to increase.
I just wanted to show what data the device had recorded.
You didn't suggest to anybody on law enforcement that they might want to take a look at this temperature information to assist in determining where this phone could have been by the temperature? You never raised that with them?
I did not.
Tell me about who you discussed this temperature information with.
It was with Hank.
This is truly the masterclass. If you want to learn how to do courtroom testimony, you watch Ian Whiffin.
You're hesitating, and I can't hear you. Who did you discuss
with
it
Hank?
Excuse me?
With Mr. Brennan.
Attorney
Sorry,
Brennan?
yes.
You discussed temperature with Prosecutor Brennan?
It was in my report.
It was in your report, but you said you discussed. Which is it?
It's in my report, and the discussion was that it is in my report. I'm not in a position to suggest that investigations take place and
This is truly the masterclass.
change based on my report findings.
Isn't discussed a verbal thing? It's not a written thing?
It was discussed in preparation for trial, yes.
Oh, so there was a discussion, a verbal discussion with Attorney Brennan about temperature in your preparation for trial?
Yes.
Beautiful job of cross-examination by Bob Alessi, and I expect nothing less from a DLA Piper attorney.
Was there any interest at all as to what this could actually mean for the potential location of Mr. O'Keefe's phone on these very important time periods in January 29th that might assist to determine at various times whether Mr. O'Keefe is in a covered building based upon the temperature rather than outside in a nor'easter on January 29th?
I'm sorry, what was the question there?
We went through, you may recall in my questioning, in your report, where you stated that it was possible that the phone could be inside the house of 34 Fairview based upon that big white circle. The low accuracy at certain points could be because of it entering a covered building, correct?
Correct.
And this is a key time point, 12:37. You've got a temperature of 72 degrees. And then 8 minutes later, the temperature only drops 6 degrees, correct?
Correct.
Again, using 1237 is what I refer to as the baseline. You go all the way down, 1253, a temperature drop of only 11 degrees. Do you see that?
I do.
At 136, there's a temperature of 50 degrees Fahrenheit, correct?
Correct.
Several hours later, at 6:06, 4.5 hours, the temperature drop is only 7 degrees, correct?
Correct.
Beautiful job by Bob Alessi pointing out all the flaws in Sir Ian's testing with regard to the battery temperature in John's cell phone. John's cell phone's battery temperature does decline steadily throughout the night. However, it was not nearly at the rate compared to the phones for which Sir Ian used in his tests. Because there were so many flaws in Sir Ian's tests, they were basically useless with regard to proving or not proving if John O'Keefe's cell phone was in the house or the garage. What I want to hear from you in the comments is, what do you think John's cell phone's battery temperature indicates with regard to whether he was in or outside the house? And in exchange for your opinion, I promise to never, ever stop producing these videos until the real killer,
Brian Higgins.
is brought to justice.